Hello, thank you for tuning in to the first video of the visual novel Research Bonanza series, or at least that's what I'm calling it until I have a better name. A lot of this got slapped together in like 2 days, and so hopefully it only goes up from there and that I can accumulate a small collection of my homework. I guess the backstory for why I'm calling it the homework, my homework, is that I my friends and I are trying to work on a visual novel, as in like make our own visual novel. The only thing that I personally have, I guess, as an individual member and like trying to be a team player kind of thing is that um I have never played a visual novel. So, like actually, I mean, I might have played some things that were like visual novel like esque kind of thing, or maybe just adjacent, but nothing that's like, a visual novel on main that, calls itself a visual novel. So, at least that is a small issue that can be easily remedied, so that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do so with this jar here, full of slips of paper. A lot of the titles here are relatively, I guess maybe we could consider them older, just because I know I have the PSP and the PS Vita sitting here in the frame, but I also have, but we're not limited to it, because I do have a Switch and a Steam Deck, just to keep some of our bases covered. But the rules are really simple. So first off, every Sunday-ish, I'm going to draw from the jar, and starting from the next day, so Monday, I am to play that game for a week, a minimum of a week. If I enjoy the game enough and want to continue it, I'm going to do so on my own time for funsies. But there's no requirement to continue it past the 1 week period. Additionally, there's no need to complete the game within the 1 week period. I only say this because I am actually not very good at video games to begin with, and so I do not think it's really worth it for me to, need to finish the game during the test period. The second thing is also that or I guess by this point it's the third one because I'm doing them a bit out of order, but the third thing is essentially that if the game is on multiple platforms, like I mentioned, I do have, multiple devices. I'm going to use a coin flip or a dice roll to decide. I do have a list of some exceptions. Mainly it's just because it's like, oh, I forgot that I had it on one platform and then I bought it full price somewhere else. And so now I have two copies of it. One was on sale and one was full price, and it kind of it kind of hurts to ignore the full price one. So, because money doesn't grow on trees, so I'm going to go and probably put some priority on certain platforms as a result. Additionally, if the games are a series, I am to play those games in like as whatever is available in that series, in order. Again, there are some exceptions to this. For instance, some games are relatively standalone, so in those cases they have their own slip of paper in the jar. So I think that's one way of, doing something about it. Now, on the topic of series, though, each available game in that series, or at least ones that I have, gets 1 week of play as well. So if, for instance, the first one that comes to mind would be like, I don't know, Psychedelia or something like that. So it's an ultimate game, and there are 2 entries to that series that I happen to have. So I will not only be playing those in terms of like release date, as in that order. So I think it was Psychedelia Black Butterfly first, and then Ashen Hawks. I think it's plural, maybe. I don't know. It's an ultimate game. I don't think there's just one. I don't think it's just one hawk. I think it'll be many hawks. But yeah, so each of those games will get 1 week of play, and that means that I will not be drawing another game until the end of the play period for the second game. Now, as far as what I'm going to be doing as like my homework, most of it will just be sort of like a quick playthrough of sorts. Like I said, I'm not expecting to finish it, but I will be paying attention to, for instance, what I understand of the plot, whether or not, like, the style of the gameplay style, whatever you want to call that, and, you know, it's what I think are pros or cons, especially from a very casual gamer. I can't even say gamer, it's just casual. It's sort of like, you know, just somebody who's here to play every now and then kind of perspective. Now, understandably, I know that PSP and PS Vita and Steam Deck can technically be streamed. I will need to think about how I'm going to do that with the Switch Lite, but we'll get to it when we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Some of these, though, I do think are going to be a little bit more difficult, and so it will be dependent on how well the tech that I have on hand can keep up with the demands of this assignment. There might not really be a lot of streams of me playing, mainly just because I don't really understand that kind of thing, and we'll see where that goes from there. Alright, but without further ado, the first draw. That's enough talking, right? Oh, this one looks like it's got a lot of stuff. Hold on. Yeah, I know, I'm like picking and choosing. No, I'm not. Hold on. I need to do a thing here, and then we drum roll, and then grab one. Okay, what's this? Okay. Persona 3. Okay, I do have this one on the PSP and the Switch, so it's just a matter of, I guess, what I think would be cute. So there's only two, so I guess heads is PSP, tails is Switch. Well, heads anyway, so it's PSP. I mean, if anyone wants to contest that, they can take it up with the powers that be. Not me. But I just mean, you know, just general. So yeah, so I'll be playing that on the PSP and for a week, and I guess I'll be doing another draw next week. I'll be thinking also about how I'm supposed to be sharing what I think, but I guess suggestions are welcome. If not, then we'll just continue with this this format. Have a good week in the meantime, I guess, and I'll see you if I see you, and if I don't, well, I don't know what goes past the week, the month, the year, your life, whatever. I wish all the best to you. Okay, for an indefinite period of time. Alrighty, and that's that.